Chosen one, this is not curiosity. This is confirmation. You didn't click this by accident, and you didn't stumble here by chance. There are moments when heaven leans close without thunder, when destiny whispers instead of shouts. This is one of those moments. Something unseen has already been placed upon you, a quiet mark, a spiritual seal, and now the signs are beginning to surface. Not loudly, not for everyone, but unmistakably for you. You felt it, haven't you? That strange tension between light and shadow. That sense that your life is being investigated by heaven itself. Old patterns breaking without effort. People responding to you differently. Some drawn, some unsettled. Nights where your thoughts feel heavier, yet clearer. You couldn't explain it, but you knew something shifted. Chosen one, that confusion you've carried wasn't weakness. It was transformation happening beneath the surface. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment. Hit subscribe and comment I receive. Chosen one, let's speak gently but truthfully. One of the first signs that God has placed his hand upon your life is not a sudden elevation, applause, or visible reward. It is something much quieter and often misunderstood. Separation, not forced, not dramatic, just natural. You may have noticed it already. Conversations thinning out, invitations slowing down, connections that once felt effortless now requiring energy you no longer have. And you didn't start it, it simply happened. This is where many people question themselves. Did I do something wrong? Did I change too much? Why does it feel like I'm walking alone? But listen closely. Rejection looks noisy. Separation feels peaceful, even if it's bittersweet. When God is aligning you for what's next, he gently loosens what cannot travel with you. Not as punishment, not as loss, but as preparation. People drift away not because you are unworthy, but because the frequency has shifted. The version of you that once fit comfortably into certain spaces has been refined. Your spirit has matured. Your tolerance for surface-level connections has faded. You now crave depth, honesty, and purpose. And not everyone is meant to meet you there. Can you feel that difference? That subtle pull away from what once felt familiar? God never removes something without intention. He sees the weight you're about to carry and knows what would slow you down. Some people were assigned to your past, not your future. They were chapters, not the conclusion. And even though their absence may feel confusing at first, there is grace in this quiet release. No arguments, no blame, just distance doing the work words never could. Ask yourself this, chosen one, are you mourning people? Or are you mourning the version of yourself that no longer exists? Because growth always creates space, and space is not emptiness, it's room for alignment. God clears your surroundings before he fills your hands. This season is teaching you to walk without leaning, to listen without noise, to stand without approval. And as the crowd thins, your clarity sharpens. You begin to hear God more clearly, feel him more closely, and trust your path more deeply. That's not loneliness, that's consecration. So don't chase what's fading. Don't explain what's ending. Let the separation complete its work. What remains will be what's meant to go with you, and what leaves was never designed to survive the distance you're about to travel. Tell me, chosen one, can you feel how light you're becoming? Chosen one, there comes a moment when the noise of the world no longer confuses you. You don't need explanations the way you once did. You don't need proof, justification, or long conversations to understand what is happening around you. Something within you has sharpened. You feel it quietly, like a compass settling into true north. This is not imagination. This is discernment awakening. You begin to sense intentions before words are spoken. A smile may appear friendly, but your spirit feels the hesitation underneath. An opportunity may look promising, yet something inside gently says, not this one. And instead of arguing with that inner knowing, you listen. Have you noticed how you now feel peace when you walk away from things that once tempted you? That is not fear. That is wisdom growing. Discernment doesn't arrive loudly. It comes as a calm alertness, a subtle awareness that guards you without exhausting you. God increases this sensitivity not to make you suspicious, but to make you protected. You are no longer required to learn lessons the hard way. Warnings now arrive early. Red flags appear before damage does. This is heaven placing watchmen within your spirit. Think about the moments lately when you felt uneasy for no visible reason, and later understood why. Or the times you felt drawn to pause, delay, or reroute, only to realize you were being spared. That is not coincidence. That is assignment. God sharpens discernment in those he trusts with influence, timing, and responsibility. As this awareness grows, you may notice fewer impulsive decisions. You move slower but more accurately. You observe more. You speak less. You don't rush to explain yourself or convince others anymore. Why would you when your spirit already knows? This kind of clarity creates quiet confidence. And quiet confidence is dangerous to confusion. Discernment also teaches you boundaries without bitterness. You don't feel the need to confront everything. You simply step back. You choose distance over drama, peace over proving, alignment over attachment, and suddenly your life feels lighter. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer walking blind. Ask yourself, chosen one, how many times has your intuition guided you correctly lately? How often have you felt protected without understanding how? That is not luck. That is God refining your senses so you can move through this world alert, covered, and prepared. This sharpening is not for pride, it is for purpose. God gives discernment to those who must carry assignments without being distracted, manipulated, or delayed. You are being trained to see beneath the surface, to hear beneath the noise, and to choose with clarity instead of emotion. So trust what you feel. Honor the warnings that come without fear. Respect the peace that arrives when you walk away. Your discernment is increasing because your calling requires it. And the more you listen, the more clearly God will speak through that quiet, powerful knowing within you. Chosen one, there is a truth few are prepared to hear. Pressure often increases right before elevation. The weight you've been feeling is not a sign that you are failing. It is evidence that you are being prepared. When God places his seal on someone, he does not rush them forward untested. He strengthens what will soon carry more responsibility, and strength is built under pressure. You may have noticed that life feels heavier lately. Situations require more patience. Decisions demand more discernment. Even simple tasks seem to carry unexpected weight. This is not because you've lost momentum. It's because your capacity is expanding. God does not promote fragile foundations. He reinforces them. And reinforcement often feels like resistance before it feels like reward. Pressure exposes what is weak, but it also reveals what is ready. Under pressure, habits surface, beliefs are tested, motives are purified. God uses these moments not to break you, but to refine you. Think of how gold is treated, not gently but intensely. The heat does not destroy it, it removes what doesn't belong. Have you felt certain comforts fall away? Certain illusions dissolve? That is refinement, not rejection. Sealed people often experience isolation during this phase. Others may not understand why you're moving differently, thinking deeper, or carrying burdens they cannot see. But this solitude is strategic. God is strengthening your inner life so external changes don't destabilize you later. Promotion without preparation creates collapse. God would rather delay elevation than repair damage afterward. Ask yourself, chosen one, where has pressure increased in your life? Is it emotional, spiritual, mental, or relational? Instead of resisting it, consider what it is teaching you. Are you learning patience where you once rushed? Discernment where you once reacted? Discipline where you once drifted? These are the muscles required for the next level. Pressure also trains endurance. When you can carry weight without losing your peace, you become trustworthy with influence. God is not impressed by how high you can go, but by how steady you remain. This season is shaping your resilience, your consistency, and your dependence on Him rather than outcomes. Remember, the pressure is temporary, but the strength it produces is lasting. You are not being crushed, you are being conditioned. God increases the load only when He knows you can carry it, and soon what feels heavy now will feel like authority. So breathe, stay grounded. Let the pressure do its work. Promotion is not ahead of you by accident. It is waiting for you to be ready. And this refining season is proof that God trusts what He is forming within you. Chosen one, there are battles you never fought because God stepped in before you even knew there was danger. There are moments you call coincidence, delays you once questioned, and changes you didn't understand at the time. But heaven was active in all of them. When God places his seal on someone, protection does not always look dramatic. Often, it looks quiet, subtle, and invisible. And yet, it is constant. Think back to the close calls in your life. Times when you were almost somewhere you shouldn't have been. Conversations that almost happened. Decisions you nearly made. You didn't see the full picture then, but now you can sense it. Something shifted at the last moment. That wasn't luck. That was divine intervention, redirecting your path without alarming your spirit. God protects sealed people in ways that don't disturb their peace. There were plans that got delayed, and in that moment, you may have felt frustration or confusion. You wondered why progress slowed or why timing seemed off. But later, clarity arrived. You saw what that delay spared you from. You recognized how the pause preserved your safety, your reputation, or your future. God doesn't always remove danger by confrontation. Sometimes he removes you from the path altogether. Sudden changes are another sign of covering. A door closes unexpectedly. A relationship fades without explanation. An opportunity dissolves right before it forms. At first it feels disappointing, but over time, you realize those shifts protected you from environments, people, or outcomes that would have drained or harmed you. Protection is not always about addition. Sometimes it is about subtraction. Ask yourself, chosen one, how many times have things worked out in your favor without you fighting for them? How many situations resolved themselves before you had to defend your name or your position? This is the grace of divine covering. God shields what he has sealed. He guards your steps, not just your destination. What makes this protection powerful is that you don't have to remain anxious or hypervigilant. God sees what you don't. He intervenes in places you never access. While you rest, while you move forward in faith, while you focus on obedience, he is already ahead of you, adjusting circumstances in your favor. This awareness is not meant to make you fearful of what could have happened. It is meant to make you confident in who walks with you. You are not navigating life alone. Heaven is involved in your everyday movements, even when you are unaware. So trust the detours, respect the delays, honor the redirections. They are not interruptions, they are protection. And as you move forward, let this truth settle your spirit. If God has kept you from what you never saw, he will surely guide you into what he has prepared. Chosen one of the quietest yet most undeniable signs that God has placed his seal upon you is what begins to happen inside your heart. It doesn't arrive with noise or announcement. It arrives as a subtle discomfort, a gentle but persistent resistance to things that once felt easy, familiar, even enjoyable. What used to feel normal now feels heavy. What once passed the time now drains your spirit. And you may find yourself asking, why doesn't this satisfy me anymore? That question itself is sacred. This is not restlessness, it is refinement. When God seals someone, he begins to recalibrate their inner compass. Your heart becomes sensitive to purpose, allergic to emptiness, resistant to cycles that lead nowhere. Activities that once distracted you no longer quiet your soul. Conversations that once entertained you now feel shallow. Environments that once felt comfortable suddenly feel misaligned. This is not you becoming difficult. This is you becoming directed. You may notice your spirit tightening when you attempt to return to old patterns. Even harmless habits now feel wrong. It's not guilt, it's awareness. God is teaching your heart to recognize what doesn't belong in the future he's preparing. Purpose has a frequency, and your spirit is learning to hear it. That sensitivity is not punishment, it is protection and preparation working together. Have you noticed how quickly your peace leaves when you ignore that inner nudge? How lingering too long in meaningless routines exhausts you more than it once did? That's because sealed people are no longer permitted to live beneath their assignment. God gently removes the tolerance for what distracts from destiny. He does not force you forward. He makes stagnation uncomfortable. This sensitivity also awakens a deeper compassion. You begin to feel stirred by things others overlook. Needs stand out to you. Truth matters more. integrity weighs heavier. You sense when time is being wasted, not just yours, but others. And with that awareness comes a quiet urgency. There must be more than this. That realization is not pressure, it is invitation. You are being drawn toward alignment, not activity, toward meaning, not motion. God is teaching your heart to crave substance over stimulation. And though this shift can feel isolating at times, like you no longer fit where you once did, it is actually evidence that you are being repositioned. Ask yourself, chosen one, what has recently begun to bother your spirit that never used to? What feels misaligned even though it once felt safe? Don't ignore those signals. They are not random emotions. They are divine instructions written into your sensitivity. Purpose doesn't arrive suddenly. It pulls you gradually. It tugs at your heart until you follow. And this discomfort you feel is not confusion. It is clarity being born. God is sealing your direction by refining your desire. So honor the sensitivity. Respect the resistance. Let your heart guide you away from what no longer serves your calling. Because when God seals someone, He doesn't just change their path. He changes what their heart can tolerate. Chosen one of the most subtle yet powerful signs that God has placed His seal upon you is not something you announce. It is something others sense. You may walk into a room quietly, say very little, and still feel the atmosphere shift. Conversations pause, eyes notice, energy adjusts. People treat you with an unspoken respect, curiosity, or even discomfort, and they often cannot explain why. Neither can you at first, but this is not coincidence. This is spiritual authority beginning to manifest. This authority does not come from position, title, or loud confidence. It comes from alignment. When God seals someone, their spirit begins to carry weight. Your presence holds substance because you have been shaped in unseen places. The pressure you endured, the restraint you practiced, the integrity you maintained when no one was watching, all of it infused your spirit with credibility that words cannot manufacture. People feel that depth, even if they don't understand it. You may notice that some are drawn to you instantly. They trust you without logic. They confide in you unexpectedly. They feel safe around you, even though you never asked them to. At the same time, others may react strongly, defensively, dismissively, or with quiet resistance. That reaction is not about you personally. It is about what your presence confronts inside them. Light does not need permission to expose shadow. It simply arrives. Have you wondered why people take your words seriously even when you speak softly? Why your silence sometimes carries more authority than someone else's noise? That is not ego. That is spiritual maturity. Authority does not shout, it settles. And sealed people don't demand attention. They command awareness simply by being aligned. This is also why God teaches you humility alongside authority. Without humility, authority becomes pride. But with humility, authority becomes influence. You don't need to prove who you are. You don't need validation. Your spirit already communicates truth before your mouth ever opens. That is why God protects your heart so fiercely, because authority flows best through purity. You may also notice that people project onto you. They expect strength from you, wisdom, stability. Sometimes this feels heavy, as if you are always being watched, measured, or leaned on. That awareness can be exhausting if misunderstood. But remember, God only allows weight on those He has strengthened. Authority is not given for display, it is given for service. Ask yourself, chosen one, when people encounter you, what do they feel before you say anything? Calm, conviction, curiosity, resistance? Those reactions are mirrors, not judgments. They reveal the authority God is quietly developing within you. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Do not dim your presence to avoid attention. You are not called to intimidate, but you are called to stand. Let your authority remain gentle, grounded, and guided. Let your presence speak peace, truth, and clarity without force. Because when God seals someone, He does not announce it with thunder. He lets authority emerge quietly, through presence, through consistency, through spiritual weight that cannot be faked. And chosen one, if others are sensing something without knowing why, It's because heaven already knows exactly who you are becoming. If your spirit is already responding, because this message is not just information, it's alignment. This is a step, not a suggestion. When the heart responds before the mind understands, it's often because truth has arrived early. There are seals that come from effort, and there are seals that come from assignment. When God places His seal on someone, He doesn't decorate them. He separates them. Suddenly you can't blend in like you used to. Your tolerance for noise decreases. Your patience for lies disappears. You start seeing through conversations, through intentions, through facades. That's not judgment. That's discernment awakening. You survived battles no one applauded. You stayed standing while misunderstood. You questioned your calling because the weight felt too heavy for something you couldn't yet see. But hear this. Sealed ones are always prepared before they are revealed. Heaven confirms privately before it validates publicly. That's why this season has felt isolating, intense, and strangely sacred all at once. So ask yourself, why now? Why this message? Why this moment before everything changes again? Because recognition always precedes revelation, and revelation always precedes movement. Chosen one, stay with me. The signs you're about to hear don't appear on everyone. They only show up on those God has already marked. And what's about to be revealed will explain everything you've been sensing but couldn't name.